The guy you have at number 1 is the one quarterback in your top 5 who did not talk to you at the combine. He blew you off.
I walked by him a few times.
Yeah.
But I observed him a lot, as I always do with these guys. But I know it was my disappointment of the combine.
It shows that you don't hold a grudge. You don't hold a grudge for blowing you off.
I don't even know what happened. I don't know. He might have been like, F him, I don't want to talk about him. I don't know.
Well, he won't be like that anymore now. Your number 1 quarterback in the 2022 NFL draft quarterback class is
Matt Corral, Ole Miss. Oh yeah, baby.
You're higher on him than most.
I'm sure I am.
Not everyone, but most.
Okay, yeah. I haven't really paid attention to where everybody's got everybody ranked yet, and you know me. There's only a few people I really pay attention to, anyways, and not that I'm going to agree with them, but I like to listen to them and hear what they got to say about it always. But all right, so let's just get to the basics here. Here's the basics, okay? Insane athlete. He's the quickest quarterback in the draft. There's nobody with quicker feet, can make people miss, great acceleration, pop his feet to get back into throwing positions. Wait, I moved out of it. I made somebody miss. Oh, wait, I got to get it back into position to throw the ball 15 yards down the middle. Nobody can do that as quick as Matt Corral, let alone it's the quickest release in the draft, too. It's as quick a release as I've seen in coming out of college football in a few years,
really?
Actually. I mean, yes, it's almost to the point at times where I'd go, man, I wish he'd let his arm go a little bit more at times. It almost looks like it's like, you have to slow it down sometimes. You're almost like, how did he get it out that quick with that much power? And it literally looked like he just took it from his ear and was like, threw it like a dart. I mean, that's how quick and compact the delivery is, all right? Then we get into the arm strength. I mean, the arm strength is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. The ball absolutely flies out of Matt Corral's hands. To me, he's made for the modern-day NFL. Oh, bootlegs on the move, play action pass. It's the deep post of the in cut and then make something happen and run. Oh, okay, this guy can run. I think Matt Corral is faster than all the other quarterbacks. He's the fastest quarterback of this group. Like I told you earlier, I think he beats Malik Willis in a race. I think Kenny Pickett beats Malik Willis in a race. I don't think they can break tackles and make people miss like Malik Willis can, but I think they can beat them in a race. Corral, he's the most accurate thrower in the draft, too. He is. I don't know what his numbers are. I don't even really fucking care. I know when he sees a target, he can put the ball and the money into the tightest windows out of anybody in this draft. Now, Pickett gets to do more of it within the normal rhythm of traditional offensive plays. The offense in Ole Miss is a little different. And a lot of it is there's the RPO stuff, which he's really gifted at. He can do sidearm. He can do both feet off the ground and still throw the ball with great power. He can get the ball out of his hands like Rodgers can on screens where you go, damn, I mean, he caught the ball, faked this to somebody, and kind of hopped out of the way and threw it all in the same motion and got it out there and did that. So all of that, to me, was top-notch. There's a lot of elite traits with Matt Corral, let alone he's bigger than what I thought, and he's faster than what I thought. Now, the one thing is, he's got to put it all together. It's not all together there yet. I wish we did see a little bit more of let's go through reads. There's some of that, but, a little bit like a Malik Willis or some of the other guys we've talked about, a lot of the times it's just look at one guy and I'm going to run or tuck it away.
Yeah.
And, yes, he's got to improve on that. But
a lot of play action, 60% of the time.
Because he's amazing at it.
Highest in FBS.
Sure. I could see that. Again, everything's built into play. I mean, every play is, RPO, fake this, fake that, fake this, fake. That's all they do there in Ole Miss. So it's just part of the offense. And he's a great.
You don't have concerns that he couldn't handle a system that was less reliant on play action?
No, I don't. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. Again, now if I start to hear things where I go, oh, people are starting to say he's an idiot and he doesn't learn things like that, I go, oh crap, okay. So maybe that's why they were doing that and that. But I don't know that. Again, I'm going off of what I've seen on film.
And he wouldn't talk to you. He refused to talk to you. Maybe that's why.
But I don't see like
a guy who doesn't run the 40.
I don't see reckless decisions, right? I'm not going to say he's perfect from that standpoint. He's not as good as Kenny Pickett, okay? But he certainly knows how to take care of the football, let alone, like I said, there's some parts of his game that I think are, are next level elite. I do. And I look at him and go, Yeah, we got to fix some of the quarterback stuff. But when you talk about modern-day NFL, RPOs, accuracy, get the ball out of your hands with, quickness and pace. It's as good as anybody we've seen coming out in the draft the last few years. It's quick as hell. Bootlegs, anything like that, getting him on the run. He's the best thrower in the draft on the run, period. Nobody throws the ball better. Like I said, if he runs a bootleg and it presents himself, he's the kind of guy that can rip off a 30-yard run. He has that type of speed, but and then you talk about in the pocket, he's got great movement. I wish he was more patient in the pocket, like I said, because he's one of these guys. You know how we talk about sometimes like great runners. Yeah, okay, sometimes they rely on that, right? Yeah. And I'm like, the whole life when the first guy wasn't open, I just run. He's gets stuck on the first read. Why? His arm is so great, he's always been able to get it into the first read for the most part. So he's always going, wait, this is the play we designed it for. I usually get it in there. I'll get it in there. Right. And then he will tuck it and run a little too quick at times, definitely. But some of the high-end talent is real. And the negatives, to me, again, are just, going through the reads, okay, yes, right? I mean, that's where I kind of get into it, and I don't go through a whole lot of other things that I think really bother me, other than maybe I wish he was a little thicker of a human being, but he measured out bigger than what I expected anyways.
6'2", 212. He turns 23 in January, so still quite young. Some scouts describe him as an athlete who happens to play quarterback. But that would be the question, the injuries, right? He played in that bowl game, which was cool. Not that I was talking about this with Pete before the podcast. I don't hold that against guys who don't play in the bowl game because I get it, right? You don't need to. You've proved everything. Right. You don't want to get hurt. You're about to cash in on an NFL career. But I do have a lot of respect for players who say, no, I want to play. I want to play with my teammates. And that's what he did, although he did get hurt early on in that game with an ankle injury. It kept him out of some drills at the combine now. I mean, so that, we've seen that before with injuries. Some of them are freak injuries, but he has had a few, and you wonder if you get tabbed with injury prone, that label.
Sure. It's, hey, we always look at this type of stuff, with especially quarterback position. He does have a slight frame, but it was one of the things I think when I saw him in person,
you did your evaluating of legs and rear.
It was the first thing I jumped off. I went, he's not going to measure at 6 foot. I mean, everything I looked at going out to the combine, everyone was like, he's going to be 6 foot. He's going to be 6.5 or something like that. And I went, no. I just met Malik Willis. He's bigger than Malik Willis. He was taller. I know he wasn't quite as thick. So that made me feel better. Let alone, I felt like, on film, he plays bigger than what I thought anyways, too. He stands tall in the pocket. He looks like he has pretty long arms. I didn't come away going, oh, man, he looks small out there. I did think that a little bit with Baker Mayfield coming out in the draft, if you go back and listen to stuff I said then. Mm-hmm. So that made me feel better about him as well.
Jacob Shapiro says Matt Corral kind of has that Phillip Rivers release. My baseball coaches always said to get your arm back, and they don't. Isn't that a problem?
It definitely would like him. To me, he's got a little of it's like he's got to let it relax, let it go a little bit. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers coming out in college where you go, whoa, holy cow, how does he throw the ball that hard with the ball at his ear the whole time? I don't understand how he does that. And so it's something I look at to go, it'll make him a better thrower if it wasn't so quick and tight, but his arm is extremely flexible. Like when I go into super slow motion, some of these throws, I mean, his arm is flexing. That's how he can make it look or throw the ball that hard with such a short, tight, compact motion. But to our question here, and it's a very good observation by them, because there is one thing that Matt Corral does a little bit like Phillip Rivers, this is his biggest mechanical issue. And this is the only time he really misses throws. He leans on his front foot too much. Now, because his arm's so strong and it's so quickly flexible, he can get away with it a lot. But what I mean by that as I stand up here is, again, like we've talked about, when you want to be a thrower, you want to be almost here more, right? Lean on that back leg. Maybe the shoulders are level to slightly tilted up rather than he at times can be like this. Lean forward. And it can lend him to, okay, there's the tight end throwing it, running a 10-yard out. He's gifted and has such a strong arm that he can get away with it at times where he can still just throw a laser like belly button high and it get there. But if he's just a little off, it'll lead to him throwing the ball at the guy's knees or at the ankles. And that's where he's got to fix off. So he's got to get a little out of this from being here to get back to here, and he'll be able to throw lasers anywhere. Now, he does it. And again, that's one of the things I'd like him to fix. But why he's number one is I see plenty of throws where he is in the right position. And two, like we talked about, life in the modern day NFL. Yeah, moving in the pocket, throwing balls off platform. Not a lot of room to throw this football. He needs no room to throw the ball. It's like a fucking optical illusion at times, Ahmed, with him. Like where you go, did that ball really, like a little like we talked about Malik Willis, where you go, did that ball really go 25 yards? It didn't look like it went more than 4 feet off the ground to get there. And he had a guy in his face. And that's where you just go, whoa, like, holy shit, let alone it's a perfect fucking spiral and it's spinning hard. So, yeah, that's what I wrote. And, you know, my end note was like, hey, the kid is not perfect, but he's got more ability than I was expecting. Better runner than I thought. The arm is more explosive than I thought. We got to fix that forward, lean a little bit. But the arm is elite. The quickness in his release is elite. The quickness in his feet and how he moves there is also elite. He has to go through reads better, but he doesn't need space in the pocket to make great throws. There is a ton of upside in this kid and way more upside than Pickett, I wrote. It's just not as good as playing the position as Pickett quite yet.
Well, so that I was just going to say.
Yeah.
It sounds like in a quarterback class who a lot of people are debating where these guys and they're kind of interchangeable. You might have a guy 1, I have him 3. That's not that big a deal. It kind of sounds like you have a fairly significant gap between him and everyone else.
To me, I think he's the guy for sure. A definite. You know, like I said, Pickett's the safe one. There's a hair of a projection here.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a projection where I go, even though the things we're concerned about, if you want to come home with me and watch some film, I'm going to show you 20, 30 plays to go, see, he can do this the right way. Here's plenty of evidence. It's not just like we saw it once. I can go through it and go, no, I saw plenty of times to go, I feel good about it. You know, let alone for a strong arm guy, he's not too reckless. You go back to last year when he had a little more talent around him, man, there are a lot of high-level freaking throws, too, that make you even feel a little bit better about what you saw this year. But, yes, the next phase for him is like we talked about. It's kind of just putting it all together as far as, clean up that little mechanical issue, learn to go to 1 to 2 to 3. He's too much Ahmed where he goes, 20-yard out route. And you go, oh, come on, here comes the crosser 20 yards down the field. Throw it to him now. The out route wasn't open 20 yards to your left. Here comes the crosser. Go to it. No, there's too many times where he goes 20-yard out route. Oh, let me just find the check down, and I throw the check down. Where you go, no, you had time in the pocket. Stand in there. You got a great arm. Just do it. That's what you got to do. But to me, that's not like an overly concerning thing. I don't go, oh, man, that really bothers me. He'll learn that. And like I said, I have enough plays to go, okay, I see him go through the reads here. You know, I do see that. And then I think when you couple that with what I see in the some of the elite physical traits there, that's why I make him the number 1 quarterback. And to me, yes, he clearly has the biggest upside, and it's not like it's a project here. It's raw. You could play with Matt Corral next year in the NFL, play actions, boots, and screens, and he's going to be able to do things and make some throws where you go, well, we can build on this and grow this guy into something.
How high would you take him?
I mean, Corral, in my opinion, is the only guy that has the talent of talking top 10-ish kind of guy there. You know, so to me, he is there in that. You know, again, where we get into this conversation is if Tua can go 5, then Matt Corral certainly can too, in my opinion. All right? But as I think we all know, Tua was a little overvalued, you know, and we'll see. But I would think,
which is interesting. So you think,
I look at Corral and go, man, the New Orleans Saints at 18. If they're looking for the quarterback of the future, man, he fits that. He'll fit that system. West Coast, boom, incredibly accurate, like I talked about, quick release, Drew Brees type stuff. Except he's got, you know, more power in his arm to really make like some big time plays and throws. And, you know, I look at that. You know, I mean, it seems like the Eagles are going to stay with Jalen Hurts there. So 15 and 16, I don't look at that. The Texans, I don't expect them to go quarterback. It seems like they're going to stay pat with Davis Mills. But I don't know. Maybe they'll look at it and go, you know what, this kid's so talented, I will do that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're talking about this being a down draft class, and it is. But it could present some good opportunities for teams, right? Where you can get a quarterback who maybe can grow into a legit starter, and you don't have to spend a first or second, a Mitch Trubisky at number 2 to get it. You know, you can
I think this is one of those years.
This is interesting.
I do. It is. It's it's a year where I know I've told people I could see Detroit, who has the 32nd and 33rd pick of the draft, going, here, some team, take this, and now we're back up in the teens, and we're taking our quarterback of the future there. Yeah. There's a lot of ways this can go here, certainly. There's no perfect prospect. No doubt about that. I get that. But to me, this is the guy. This is the guy that is the number 1 quarterback in the draft class. He's the guy that has the highest upside, the chance to be the superstar. And yes, it's not perfect, but it's not so raw to where I go, oh, there's a lot of things, there's 3 or 4 things I'm worried about. Oh man, he did the first reads open a lot. He misses that. It's not that. So, again, the things I think he needs to fix are things that I think are fixable, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I think NFL teams, for the most part, the coaches and that, they're just getting into these quarterback things, and I think we'll start to get a feel for how they feel about it here over the next few weeks as things start to get leaked and rumored and all that.
They should just listen to the podcast.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.